Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to United Talks podcast. And today we are going to be talking about all things Manchester United. We have a lot of news to cover, even though there's not so much going on, but we're going to deal with like all of the rumors. We're definitely going to analyze everything from like what's been breaking to what's, for real, correct, and all of that. So join us tonight and also leave your comments in the comment section so we can actually have meaningful conversations and kind of grow together as a community. I don't take your followings, your likes, shares, and subscribing for granted. We kind of grow together, we build together, we continue to develop together, and everything in between. So if you're joining us for the first time, please do like, share, and subscribe, and then turn on the notification bell. As always, for us to continue to build this community together. Welcome back to the channel once again. And tonight, basically, we're facing some brutal reality at Old Trafford, basically on the injury front. Coupled with some truly ambitious plans that could actually redefine Man United over the next 18 months. And then also the club is suddenly starting to is suddenly staring down a striker injury crisis at the worst possible time, but also the hierarchy is planning a £1 million a week wage cut that they intend to pour directly into a squad overhaul. We also have some major update on transfer target whose release clause has been dropped. I know you guys must have seen that one as well. And then we also have in that situation, it makes him an immediate January option. The question will now be, will Man United go for him in January? Would that be the case? And if it is, what do we get? What do we expect basically to come out of that? So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we break and divide, all of the news that that you can use and all of that. So yeah, hit the comment section and drop all your thoughts and feelings. Now, basically, we're going to start with the Šeško one because that's basically the headline of our thumbnail. And we're just going to break it down and just tell you what we found out about Benjamin Šeško. Our attack is under siege right now. One striker is down, and that is Man United's 22-year-old striker Benjamin Šeško. The 22-year-old Slovenian striker is basically the headline of our talk today. The biggest headline is the confirmation of Ruben Amorim, of what Ruben Amorim had feared, and that is Benjamin Šeško out with a knee injury for at least a month. So for like the next 4 weeks or thereabout. 20-year-old Slovenian striker, £74 million headline addition this summer from RB Leipzig, limped off during a 2-2 draw against Tottenham Hotspur on November 8th. And scans has now confirmed that the severity and the absence could not have come at a worse time when we were about to kind of go on an interesting run. Šeško was a crucial piece in Amorim's new attacking structure, designed to provide mobility and cutting edge while basically trying to also get up to steam with this Man United squad and the Premier League and everything in between. Then basically what the worst fear just basically happened in that regard with Šeško, where he limped off the Spurs game with a suspected knee injury, and then Ruben Amorim kept his cards close to his chest, stating that there's still ongoing review and analysis on the injury front. And lo and behold, our worst fear has happened, right? While his first few months are described as steady rather than explosive, he was starting to find his rhythm, scoring important goals and showing flashes of, the pace and movement that convinced United to invest so heavily on him. Now, with this injury update, he will miss crucial fixtures, a crucial run of fixtures heading into the festive period, including Premier League clashes against Everton. We're going to have a quick look at the clash. I mean, the Everton one is the first one, obviously, but he's definitely going to miss the Everton, Crystal Palace, and West Ham United game, and then potentially the Wolves and Bournemouth game. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially the next 5 games, because by the time he comes back, to take another maybe week or 2 for him to kind of, get his rhythm back and probably, hit his stride again and get into full match fitness and all of that. So it will become an issue, and obviously leading on to January. So if it's 4 weeks, it's definitely the whole of December, and then you now have January fixtures that are coming thick and fast, especially with the need for us to progress in the FA Cup. So what's my take on this? This is actually bad news, but good news, because it's good news for Joshua Zirkzee, who has been itching to play and all of that. And I know Ruben Amorim is going to try to use Cunha and then eventually bring on Zirkzee. Zirkzee is going to get more playing time, which is also good, and all of that. So we will see, we'll observe, we'll let you know as things pan out. But he has been, Cunha has been a crucial piece of Amorim's attacking structure, basically. The immediate pressure on the forward line is immense, because Šeško is not the only problem. There is also the fact that there's going to be a lack of striking options, compounded by the looming African Cup of Nations. There's also the opportunity for Zirkzee to also play, but the 2 of the first choice wide players, Mbeumo of Cameroon and Amad Diallo of Ivory Coast, are expected to be away from December 21st to January 18th. So depending on how far they go in the competition, and all of that. So this leaves United suddenly threadbare in attack, and it puts the spotlight squarely on Joshua Zirkzee. The Dutch forward has been used sporadically from the bench, but this is the opportunity, forced by crisis, for the 24-year-old to step up and convince the manager that he can be a long-term part of the attacking project. However, AS Roma are also now reportedly in discussions with United on a January loan deal for Joshua Zirkzee with a 35 million euros, which is 31 million pounds option to buy. If United sanctions this loan, it underscores a potential lack of faith in Zirkzee and would necessitate a new immediate attacking signing in January due to current injury crisis. Now, that's a massive risk given the stated caution for the winter window. So I don't think that the Zirkzee rumors are going to come to fruition, because obviously we're short in attack, and Man United will not want to sanction that deal. Now, losing Šeško is a significant blow to the team's rhythm, but also the silver lining here is the medical team's great work, with defender Lisandro Martinez expected to return after the international break following the horrible injury that highlighted his career, especially in the year 2025 when he got injured in February. Now, this highlights the excellence in the Carrington's medical staff. So, what do you guys think? It's a huge deal. It's a big deal that Manchester United will be losing losing Benjamin Šeško, and now having the opportunity to play Joshua Zirkzee. We tend to have these kinds of things, and we will observe as things pan out. But the truth is, Man United are going through a lot when it comes to the transfer front and stuff. So we will observe, and whatever happens, we will let you know. Now we're going to move on to a big one, which is the 65 million pound question, and that's Antoine Semenyo's new release clause. This has been trending the last couple of hours. The injury crisis and the looming AFCON chances puts a huge target on Manchester United's transfer approach for January, and they have just been given a massive timely opportunity to address their needs. Before we get to that, my question will now be, will Ghana, because I'm checking online now, will Ghana go to the AFCON 2026. And so I think Ghana does not make the AFCON. Yep. So let's kind of touch on some articles and see what. Yeah, so Ghana recover from AFCON disaster, qualify for FIFA World Cup. Okay, despite failing to qualify for Africa Cup of Nations 2025, Ghana have now dramatically secured direct qualification to the FIFA World Cup. So let's see. Yeah, Ghana missed out, failed to qualify for the 2025 AFCON, making their first absence from tournament since 2004. Ghana was eliminated of the 2026 AFCON out of the 2026 AFCON Cup of Nations. The qualification process for the okay, yeah, they've been eliminated. Yeah, they qualified for the AFCON. They will qualify directly to the World Cup, but they missed out on the African Cup of Nations, which makes sense for this news to be making sense. I know, to be making the headlines. I know I talked about this in one of our live streams where I thought that Ghana actually was going to the AFCON, but unfortunately they had they missed out. So basically, like I said, we have a major update on Bournemouth's informed striker Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo has been magnificent this season, and the 25-year-old Ghanaian has, racked up 6 goals and 3 assists in just 11 appearances. Now, driving Bournemouth into the top half, his blend of pace, high pressing intensity, and technical ability has naturally kept him on the radar of clubs like Liverpool, Manchester City, Spurs, and, of course, you know how it is, Manchester United. Crucially, The Athletic has now confirmed that when Semenyo signed his new contract until 2030, a £65 million release clause was included, which becomes active for January 2026 transfer window. So it's something we're going to be observing and knowing. This is a significant detail. Basically, suitors were quoted around 70 to 75 million pounds. So it's 65 million pounds. Yep. 70 to 75 million pounds in the summer, meaning that the price has now formally dropped by around 10 million pounds. Furthermore, the clause is available to any club meeting the fee, leaving Bournemouth powerless to stop the sale. Now, this development is usually tempting for United. While their summer additions of Mbeumo and Cunha were costly, Mbeumo has been a revelation, while Premier League Player of the Month while winning Premier League Player of the Month for October with 5 goals. But Cunha has just 1 league goal in 10 appearances, and if Amorim decides he needs another versatile forward to complement his front line, then Semenyo is now available at a fixed, slightly reduced price. Now it makes sense. So it has to make sense in the sense that Semenyo is available for 65 million pounds or 60 million pounds, as the case may be. And then let's see. Yeah, so he is available for 65 million pounds. Now, the reason why I talked about this is it makes a lot of sense, because if you bring Semenyo and he plays as a left 10 and then Mbeumo as a right 10, you have Cunha playing as your striker or one of the striking options and all of that. So yeah, I think it kind of makes sense. And then it also puts into perspective what Amorim's plans are ahead of the season, and if we can scoop that, I don't know what the potential of getting Semenyo would be this January, but we're gonna keep our eye out for that. We've talked about this on the channel and stuff, but if we get him in January, then that takes our attack to another level. But what we need is actually midfield, so spending 65 million on another forward forward does not make financial sense, especially when you need a midfielder. Now, the striker is exactly the profile, the attacker is exactly the profile that Amorim needs, thriving in transition and also on the counter-attack, as evidenced by his 3 counter-attack goals this season, more than any other player. The 65 million clause, 65 million pound clause, is a massive strategic talking point at Old Trafford right now, especially with the injury to Šeško and the potential departure of Zirkzee. But we also have to talk about it from the perspective of the interest from other clubs, including Liverpool and Tottenham. Now, for Liverpool, there's a chance that they want to sign him. I see the rumor. All the rumors have been seen with regards to Liverpool is the fact that they want to sign him as a replacement for Mo Salah. Then you also have other interests from Liverpool saying that they want to sign Michael Olise from Bayern Munich as a replacement for Mo Salah. So, and then you have all of that. You have the interest from who were the other teams we mentioned, from Manchester City as well, who can compete with that kind of money. Seeing as the release clause 65, it means the release clause might probably be the base. And then all other monies and all other expenditures will probably be, maybe to spark kind of like a bidding war, but it is what it is. We will observe. The Athletic has put their foot in the front to actually state the need, for the player, especially from the Manchester United perspective and all of that. Getting him for less than 70 million is also a good scoop, but a good coup, but I don't think that he is basically the priority to sign today, because I think Man United needs midfield, and we'll talk about that. But there's also a lot of rumors around the whole midfield situation, but let's keep it going. Basically, this one, it's a wild one, and I just had to bring it maybe for us to kind of just have a conversation about it. And this one is with regards to Vinícius Jr, the 200 million euro dream and the 1 million a week wage chop up. Now, we'll talk about the 200 million euro dream, but we'll start with the dream target. Basically, reports from Spain suggest that Manchester United are prepared to make a jaw-dropping offer of 200 million euros to sign Vinícius Jr from Real Madrid, which I'm bringing this to you because I know it's a lie. I know it won't happen. I know it won't, it can't happen. Man United can't be spending 200 million to sign Vini when we know, the press are going to hound him. Come on. We're not going to sign Vinícius Jr. I just had to bring it. This pursuit isn't just about adding talent, it's about, igniting a new era. This is basically what the report says. United believes that Vinícius Jr. is a player capable of taking on major leadership role and becoming the face of the club's rebuild, which is also a lie, but I just had to bring it to you so that you guys can see what we see in the media. A 200 million euro offer for a player of his caliber is the cheapest, is the clearest statement yet. For a statement of intent and of financial intent and sheer ambition of the Sir Jim Ratcliffe regime, and that is basically the person's post. I don't want to mention the name because I can't even remember where I got it from, but I had to see it, and it makes sense. It makes no sense with regards to how wild the take is. It's an acknowledgement that that to compete at the with the very best, you must buy the very best regardless of their price, which is a lie, but it is what it is. Let's keep building. So there's the 1 million a week saving plan or wage chop that is rumored to be on the cards for Manchester United with regards to what next. How will Man United fund these massive moves and finance the next stage of Ruben Amorim's squad overhaul? That's the question you might ask, but by being utterly ruthless with the wage bill. But how can you be utterly ruthless with the wage bill? The easiest way to deal with the wage bill is to sell the most expensive ones that are very high on the wage bill, right? Bring the wage bill down by selling. Manchester United aims to cut a staggering £1 million per week from their wage bill next summer. Now, this enormous saving is being made possible by the expiring contracts of high earners and confidence, and the confidence that they can offload others rather. Which also makes sense in a way with regards to the wage bill. think about it from perspective of the players that are leaving and the players that will potentially, you know, create space on the wages for other players, right? You have Casemiro, basically. The Brazilian is reportedly unlikely to accept a new contract with a drastic salary reduction, and his departure removes a massive wage from the books. Basically, I think he's earning over 300,000 as well per week. Then you also have Jadon Sancho and Harry Maguire, both very high earners whose futures at the club are uncertain. Their potential exits clear further funds, right? You have all that, and then you also have. So, but for Jadon Sancho, I can totally understand they're letting him go for free, so it clears the wages. And then I think he's on 250,000 a week. And for Harry Maguire, there's also a chance that Man United could kind of make leeway or make headway with this one. If he gets a wage cut and decides to stay a further year or two as a member of the leadership of the squad, then that makes financial sense. Then you also have to consider, you know, the fact that, you know, he has made a huge impact in the team or in the squad and all of that. So we will observe, and then we will, you know, keep you updated as things pan out. And then you have the Marcus Rashford situation. While United is confident that he's 335, that's reported, but £335,000 a week salary will be removed, suggesting an incoming transfer or major restructure of his deal, although the current information points toward the removal from the wage bill savings plan. And the fact is, Marcus Rashford is already at Barcelona on loan, so he potentially just fits the bill for being out the wage bill ahead of next year. So by shaving this 1.1 million pound per week off player costs, United gains financial flexibility to pursue young, energetic, and long-term value players that fit Amorim's system. And this has already shaped the midfield strategy, where they have identified Aurélien Tchouaméni, which is the new one I saw today, of Real Madrid as their preferred option to replace Casemiro. This is basically a complete cultural shift, one that is that with the expensive aging stars in with the young world-class talent financed by shrewd wages or wage mismanagement. Now, obviously, I think even Casemiro is kind of like a chip of the old era, but it's one thing we should observe based on the fact that there is a chance that he will leave. Then to mention Aurélien Tchouaméni in the mix is quite a big ask, basically, if you ask me, basically, because we were interested in him before he even actually went to Real Madrid. We were linked with him before he went to Real Madrid. To get him will be a real coup, because he's a very good defensive midfielder, and he grows. He's become more mature. He has played in multiple positions for Real Madrid, even as much as playing as a center back. So he has that defensive discipline, and he has that range in him. He gives you that Pogba-esque without the so many skill, athleticism, and all of that. So you see him running and you think that's another Pogba, but it is what it is. Yeah, but like I said, it's a cultural shift, and it's one thing that we would observe, and we'll let you know as things pan out. Now, the next aspect is the midfield competition. You know, we have the Froholdt, Vitek, and the next big thing basically to talk about. Beyond the big names, United recruitment departments battling rivals for several high potential players, and they have also and they are also managing their own rising stars. And we're going to start with the first one. There's a Froholdt battle. United are now competing with Tottenham Hotspur and Atletico Madrid for Porto's 20-year-old Danish midfielder or midfield sensation Victor Froholdt. Froholdt basically has a release clause of 85 million euros, which is around 75 million pounds. But clubs are considering or are confident that they can sign him for less. United scouts have given positive reports, and the club views him as a potential cornerstone for the new midfield project. So that's one for us to think about, one for us to kind of see where we're headed. But we're going to see, let's just quickly check on the Froholdt news. and then just basically give our take on it. This is from, I think this is basically from 11 hours ago, basically according to One Football. Froholdt avoids booking to stay available for crucial clash with Scotland. This was in the game that happened earlier. Well, just to give you an update on the games that have been happening this last couple of hours. Currently, Germany are beating Slovakia 6-0. You have goals from... Yeah, you know why I went to that game? Because I was looking for Florian Wirtz. But yeah, he continues his goalless, assistless run. But Amada scores at the 18th minute, Gnabry 29 minutes, and says Leroy Sané, he scores 36th and 41st minute. Then we have Baku 67, Ouaggarago 79. And in the lineup, you have your wonderful Florian Wirtz. Okay, he got 2 assists in this one. He got 2 assists in this one. And yeah, Germany are running riot. Then you also have Northern Ireland beating Luxembourg 1-0, while Malta are drawing with Poland 2-2. And you look at Poland's table, you see that Poland are second, and in the qualifying round, basically, if they don't, Netherlands are beating Lithuania 4-0, Lithuania. So if Malta maybe beats Poland, then Poland still go through anyway. So it is what it is. Yeah, Czechia are smashing Gibraltar 6-0. Smashing Gibraltar 6-0. Gibraltar have no chance. They're last on the table with no wins, no points, nothing. And the reason why I went to that is because a Man United player is playing in that team, and that's James Conlon. Yeah, it is what it is. Man United academy player. Then Montenegro are playing 2-2 with Croatia, and as it stands on the table, Croatia are top and already through to the World Cup, and they're just losing 3-2 to Montenegro. So that is pretty much that with regards to the World Cup qualifiers, especially for Europe. What else again? So yeah, I had to go look for Froholdt, right? So just give me a quick sec here. My next interest in Froholdt. Just interest. Okay, so mine are linked with him, 19-year-old. This according to Yahoo Sport. Man United, and this was posted by Stretty News, so you can make of it what you will. Manchester United have been linked with a move for Porto midfielder Victor Froholdt. The 19-year-old is a tremendous talent, and he is on the radar of multiple clubs according to Fichajes. Like I said, you know my take on Fichajes and his wild takes and stuff. He could also cost around 85 million euros, which is 75 million pounds, because of a release clause in his contract, and it will be interesting to see if Manchester United decide to come forward with an offer to sign him. For me, I think it's a no-go area. 19-year-old can operate as a central midfielder and as well as an attacking midfielder. He will bring technical ability and creativity to the side. In addition to that, he's a hard-working midfielder who will help out with the defensive work rate and pressing. Froholdt has been described as a player with a quality in abundance. Froholdt is still quite young and he has a bright future ahead of himself. He could also develop into a quality player for Manchester United with the right guidance. The opportunity to join a top Premier League club will be quite exciting for him. Competing at the highest level could also bring out the best in the player and accelerate his development. So that's pretty much what they say. Nothing more, just mine have been linked. So you guys just make of it what you will. And we move. They say Man United face competition from Atletico Madrid as well. So yeah, that is that. Give me a quick second here. We will, just kind of continue from where we stopped with the Froholdt situation. Then we also have, then I'll go to a quick fire news with regards to rumors and stuff. We also have a situation where Baleba, basically, Baleba and Anderson, United remain incredibly keen on both Carlos Baleba and Anderson. Despite the high valuations, Baleba now has his heart set on leaving Brighton for United, with some believing that that this desire is why his form has fallen off a cliff. And that's pretty much what the situation is, because obviously he kind of didn't just come good eventually after being interested or being courted by Manchester United. The desire gives United an advantage similar to the Semenyo situation. Meanwhile, Newcastle are providing strong competition for Elliot Anderson, but Nottingham Forest will not consider January sale, pushing the decision to the summer. Now we're going to quickly look at the Anderson situation, and this is according to the Mirror. And I just found out that this month he turned 23. According to the Mirror, Man United decide on top priority with 2 Premier League stars on shortlist. Man has spent heavily in the recent summer months, which is what they will first start with. They are in the market for 2 big midfield signings next summer. So it's no longer a January coup or anything whatsoever. And Anderson is top of the list. United boss also Renam Rim wants midfield reinforcements at midfield he's not okay. So Ruben Amorim wants midfield reinforcements as his number 1 priority to rebuild this squad, with Brighton's Carlos Baleba and other big deals in the frame. You have Brighton resisted United's late interest in 21-year-old in the summer, but remain keen with a Cameroon international also wanting to move to Old Trafford. But United also see Nottingham Forest England international Elliot Anderson as another target, with his ability to play the number 6 and also as a marauding midfielder. This means that they are ready to pull out all the stops to get him. Anderson, 23, is attracting huge interest after impressive performances for club and country, and Forest know that they are facing a battle to keep him at the club. However, he's likely to cost around less than 100 million pound rated Carlos Baleba, and that is why he's seen as a good place of potential business. United's veteran Casemiro's contract is running down and would have to take a pay cut to stay. So they are also interested in Conor Gallagher. That's another news that we all know. They're also interested in Conor Gallagher should he be available on loan in January from Atletico Madrid as he looks to win his World Cup place. Obviously, I think that World Cup place is gone. There's nothing you want to tell me about that. Especially in the England squad that's stacked with a lot of players. United spend big towards, they always start with that one as well. So that's pretty much what we have with regards to Anderson and Conor Gallagher and all of that, and also Carlos Baleba. So we go on to another one, which, like I said to you earlier, Nottingham Forest will not consider a January sale for Elliot Anderson, so probably just forget about it. The next one is Radek Vitek, the future of goalkeeping. On the academy front, goalkeeper Radek Vitek is performing brilliantly on loan at Bristol City. The club is delighted with his progress and feels that he is ahead of his development. Internal discussions have focused on Vitek personally competing with current number 1 St. Lomans next season, which would pave the way for a potential exit for Altay Bayindir. This progression shows that the club is still relying on its academy for the future, first team future. Now, as I was reading this, something just popped in my head. And how ironic would it be? Andrew Nana is currently at Trabzonspor. He replaced the Trabzonspor keeper who went to Galatasaray, I think. Now he's on loan at Trabzonspor. Then his loan ends and he comes back, and then he's moved to another club or is sold to another club. And then you have a situation where Altebinder goes to Trabzonspor. How ironic would that be? How ironic would that be? Altebinder goes to Trabzonspor, and then we now have another Man United goalkeeper being replaced by another Man United goalkeeper. That will be super interesting, but we shall see. We shall observe, and we'll let you know as things pan out. So, Altebinder to exit for Radek Vitek. And I think I love Radek Vitek. He looks like a very good, tall goalkeeper as well. It's good with his feet. Looks like one who can actually claim balls off the air and everything. So we will observe and we'll let you know as things pan out. But it is what it is. Like I said, the academy is the future. Radek Vitek is one that can actually come into the squad and be a backup. At the very least. So we will observe and let you know. Then we're going to give you some quick notes on the club's internal activities and recent managerial decisions. But before that, let's check on the rumors, on other rumors that potentially the BBC and all the other outlets have put in place. So we'll break it down and then we'll analyze, especially for today's, especially for today. Basically, Newcastle. Just give me one quick second. Okay, so in the last day or so, like I said to you already, Mohamed Salah is due to play in Egypt for AFCON, and then Liverpool could be interested in Antoine Semenyo, as we are interested in Antoine Semenyo. But also, you have a situation where Roma are in discussions. This is according to rumor that is flying all over. I'm just going to tell you the source. Roma are in discussions with Manchester United over a general loan deal for Zirkzee 24 that includes an option to buy with the Netherlands forward in the summer of 35 million euros. In the summer for 35 million euros, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, via the Metro. And if Roma's proposed move for Zirkzee falls through, they will turn to Tottenham's France forward Matthijs Tel, 20, according to the Metro as well. And then you also have Real Madrid are in no hurry to hold contract talks with Austria centre-back David Alaba. I'll tell you that this doesn't make sense, but it's according to the Mirror. Okay, I thought that it was related to, because there was a way they chipped it in such a way that it kind of felt like it was related to Man United and Man United being interested in Alaba. I screamed, but it is what it is. In Ruben Amorim's hunt for a midfield reinforcement, Manchester United are looking to sign Cameroon international Carlos Baleba. It's according to the Mirror. We read it out already, and all of that. So, with regards to rumors for today, there was none, especially the last 24 hours. So, in the last 48 hours, you have the Anderson situation where Man United will make Nottingham Forest England international midfielder Anderson, 23 years old, a priority in the January transfer window. And this according to the Mirror. You know, I found it, I read it to you guys earlier with regards to that. The Man United will decide on top transfer priority with two Premier League stars on the short list. You have, like I said, they will first of all mention how much Manchester spent heavily, but Man United are in the market for two big midfielder signings, Anderson and top of the list. So you see, the header is Man United to decide top priority with two Premier League stars on the short list, but then the way it was presented on this channel, on this BBC that I'm seeing, it says Man United will make Anderson That's Mikel Anderson, a priority for January transfer window. But so you see that it's all to just kind of get you to click it, and then they get their clicks. Crystal Palace Spanish wing back Daniel Munoz, 29, has said playing for Manchester United will be a dream come true. He's 29. I don't think that's what's going. It's just a comment, right? Daniel Munoz has become one of the best right backs in Premier League. The defender has performed exceptionally well for Crystal Palace and has attracted interest of major European clubs. The player has previously been linked with FC Barcelona as well as Paris Saint-Germain. You also have to think about player has become a regular in the starting 11 for Colombia national team, which. Yeah. You know why I paused, guys? Look at this. Daniel Munoz, it will be a dream to play for a club like Barcelona or Real Madrid. That's why I paused. It would be a dream to play for a club like Barcelona or Real Madrid. But on the BBC's website, with regards to some of the rumors, it says Crystal Palace Spanish wing back. Okay, he's not a Spanish wing back, is he? Daniel Munoz. That's how these guys just. So we will check. Let's check Munoz out. Let's see. Give me one quick sec on this one. So Daniel Munoz. Now Daniel Munoz, we will give you, is a footballer, Colombian professional footballer. That's why, like I said, I had to go to this channel because I wanted us to kind of see the nonsense that I put out there. Crystal Palace's Spanish wing back. Is he a Spanish wing back? It's a Colombian wing back. 29-year-old has said playing for Manchester United will be a dream come true. Then you open the link and you see that it says playing for a club like Real Madrid or Barcelona. Come on, just to get you clicks, man. That's crazy. Crazy. Now, that's pretty much it with regards to the rumors of the last 48 hours. Let's deal with the news that's been going on the last couple of minutes. Basically, today we have another one. This according to Shoot, the voice of football. Man United quoted 60 million for Bundesliga forward. Manchester United welcome Everton to Old Trafford in an intriguing Premier League encounter on Monday night. The Red Devils currently sit 7th in the top flight standings after a recent revival of form. Now, yeah, we talked about this the last couple streams, and bringing this now is basically just kind of giving you a hint of an idea of what is actually going on. In the meantime, it appears United have to spend a significant amount to sign one of their transfer targets. As per Football Insider, Borussia Dortmund will demand a fee of around £60 million for Man United target Karim Adeyemi. Now, Karim Adeyemi, he plays for Borussia Dortmund, and it is claimed that the Germany international's future at Dortmund is uncertain, following a breakdown of discussions about a new contract. The Stars' current deal is set to expire at the end of next season, and talks over a new one has so far failed to progress, which has actually prompted speculation surrounding his future. The 23-year-old Dortmund player was signed from Austrian side Red Bull Salzburg back in 2022 and has since scored 29 goals, 121 appearances for the German side, as well as providing 22 assists. And I looked at his stats and I said these stats are really good and all of that, but yeah, it is what it is. The reports While United are said to be interested in the German striker, the report suggests that United are unlikely to sign the player during the upcoming transfer window due to his high price tag. Reports also hint that, however, the striker could be available for a lower price during next summer's transfer window when he will enter the final 12 months of his contract. So it's one of those things where you have to just basically just take it with a pinch of salt in it. And this one is one that really touches my heart, and that's on Kobbie Mainoo. According to Fabrizio Romano, posted by the People's Person, Kobbie Mainoo keen to join Napoli on one condition. The future of Manchester United starlet Kobbie Mainoo remains up in the air, with Ruben Amorim continuing to ignore him this season. You see, that's the narrative that these guys push. Amorim does not continue to ignore him, but they'll say anything just to get clicks. Despite the obvious lack of absence in the midfield, the head coach has not handed the Englishman a lack of balance, a single start so far in the Premier League. Okay, his only start came in the Carabao Cup against Grimsby Town, where the Red Devils lost, and time is running out to make cut for the World Cup. The Carrington graduate is keen to reverse the situation and for that he wants to leave Old Trafford to join a side where he will be guaranteed first team minutes. Now, obviously he struggled, but Napoli once again in the mix, as I always told you, according to Fabrizio Romano. For Napoli's midfield, I'm remaining focused on the list of 2 or 3 names that the club is evaluating internally to complete the squad in January, considering the injuries to Zambo and Kevin De Bruyne. Kobbie Mainoo is a name worth keeping in mind. Napoli remains a very attractive club for him, and I can confirm this 100%. The player is very interested in the opportunity despite the turbulent past few weeks and unmemorable results, especially in the Champions League. Also, what's his name? Fabrizio Romano said to clarify, during the break there were talks of news with Kobbie Mainoo, but it's not a loan with an option to buy. Napoli would like to have the option, but United clearly says no. Guys, a loan with an option to buy for Kobbie Mainoo has never existed, not even last August. The only thing Kobbie Mainoo has asked for is a loan. When he spoke to Manchester United at the end of August, he specifically asked for a loan with no option to buy because he loves Manchester United. He grew up as a fan and as an academy player. Then the strict condition that was set was that to go down, he wants to go on loan, and after this experience, anything could happen. If he feels particularly good there, he could decide to stay wherever he is. But right now, Kobbie Mainoo's desire is clear: a dry loan, and if United decide to let him go, they will only do so under these conditions. So Man United wants to set the conditions. The Stockborn star is likely to be involved when the AFCON kicks off. While given the form of Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro's age, mind you, they are not. Kobbie Mainoo is not a defensive midfielder. Kobbie Mainoo is a central midfielder slash attacking midfielder. And then you mentioned Casemiro and Ugarte. Like, it's all good. Both of them are replacing each other. Casemiro and Ugarte are replacing each other. It seems inevitable that Amorim will turn to him at some point. Obviously, these reports are crazy. The problem is that the Portuguese sees Mainoo as a number 8 and not a deep line playmaker, and it will be interesting to see how the situation unfolds as the January window creeps nearer. So just to kind of get you to click and all of that. Matheus Cunha shows, basically, this is another news before we kind of wrap things up here. According to goal.com, obviously I don't really read stuff from Goal, but it is what it is. According to goal.com, basically Matheus Cunha is saying, just give me 1 quick second. Matheus Cunha shows that he truly understands what it means to be a Man United player by signing up for annual community events. How is this news? But because it's Manchester United, it's gonna become news, right? Yeah. Then this is another one with Adam Wharton in the mix, and then I'll bring you another news that I saw. I'll bring another news that I saw with, I think I saw this on X, and I was like, yeah, we dodged the bullet. Just hold on, just join me with this on this journey. So Daniel Munoz has opened the door to leaving Crystal Palace after Man United news. That's the same thing I told you about. Man United could explore a deal for Crystal Palace Daniel Munoz after he named them among the dream moves. Yeah, I'm not reading this. He named Man United, so that means Man United could be set. Really? Are you serious? Then there's this other one with regards to the Everton game. Everton won't face £66 million Manchester United player at Old Trafford amid injury blow, and that is the injury blow to Šeško, which I'm not going to read because obviously it's just an Everton news channel. So that's by the way, and Man United is also in that talk, so to get them clicks and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is with regards to that. There's not much. The one I told you I was going to give you is a news with regards to Man United. According to Mark Ogden, United rejected Chelsea's offer for Romeo Lavia as part of the deal for Alejandro Garnacho due to concerns over his fitness record. And that's a fact because obviously he's been injured for a while. So yeah. Then this one is Samuel Lacoste of The Sun. Ruben Amorim's critical change that has already worked wonders at Manchester United. This according to Samuel Lacoste. Man United boss Ruben Amorim has managed to do something his predecessors have been unable to pull off. This was posted yesterday. It is a sign that Manchester United are. It is a sign of progress at Manchester United that their international break has been utterly uneventful so far. The start of September's internationals. Yeah, I'm bored of the story already because Samuel Lacoste is, yeah. What is he going to say? It doesn't make sense. But let's give it to you guys. November's barren weeks were filled with Ruben Amorim's arrival. For such a quotable and emotive talker, Amorim is responsible for the sense of calm around United at the moment. Okay, that's principally down to the results. Man United are 5 games unbeaten, and were rightly disappointed to draw another first and Tottenham Hotspur in the last 2 fixtures. Promoting goalkeepers and alarmers to starting lineup has provided an unflappable presence between the sticks. United staff have also likened Laurens to the phlegmatic Edwin van der Sar, while the Stretford end have compared him to Peter Schmeichel. For veterans on the Man United patch, there were crises. There were crises in every month, sometimes every week in recent seasons. Before Amorim forecast a storm last December, United had barely recovered from the gales of Ten Hag's final front that year. Before the first international break had ended 2023-2024, United were forced to abandon the intended reintegration of Mason Greenwood and amid the backlash. So, this is going nowhere. So what Samuel Lacoste is actually saying is that Man United learned their lesson. They lost at RB Leipzig and were relegated to the Europa League. Finally, they have learned their lesson. They trod on eggshells around Trust me, this doesn't make sense. I've left it. Like, for me, Samuel Lacoste's putting out stuff just to put flesh in an article that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Mark Ogden says that new sources say that financial boost for expiring contracts at Man United, as well as sale of Marcus Rashford, will enable United to compete for signings required to complete the next phase of the squad rebuild. Same thing from Mark Ogden as well. Manchester United. United's midfield rebuild next summer is being driven by the chances to cut £1 million a week rate from the wage bill and redirect those savings toward younger, more dynamic players who can offer long-term value at the core of the team's project, at the core of the team, with the contracts of Casemiro, Harry Maguire, and Jadon Sancho running down, and growing confidence that Marcus Rashford's £225,000 a week wages will come off the books. United are positioned to make significant reductions in player costs. So pretty much the same thing, all of that. Like I said before at the top of the show, that Baleba is Man United's priority target, but it's going to definitely be in the summer. Also, according to Mark Ogden, like I read earlier, but just to give you a hint of an idea of what is going on, during the summer, Manchester United rejected an offer for Lavia as part of a deal to sign Alejandro Garnacho due to concerns over his fitness. So there, and look, yeah. So like I said, also, what do you guys think about the Kobbie Mainoo joining Napoli on loan and all of that? He says he wants a straight loan and everything. Like, what do you guys think? It's one of those things that you have to just kind of ask yourself certain questions and stuff. But also, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Manchester United are now opened. Manchester United have now opened £100 package for fans to tour the new Carrington training complex. The experience starts with a full access tour of Old Trafford, including the dressing rooms, tunnels, the tunnel, museum, and mega store, before supporters hop on a coach to Carrington. I saw some news on this last week, and a lot of people talked about, why is Man United putting £100 to visit Old Trafford, to visit Carrington? Like, are we trying to milk the fans and stuff? But you think about it, and if you don't go into details, you will not understand why that rumor came out. The rumor came out, and only part of it was read and understood by the media, right? By people on social media and stuff. Man United want to start this £100, I keep saying £100 package for fans to tour the new Carrington complex. You think about it, it's not just the new Carrington complex, it's also a full access to Old Trafford. So I'm guessing both of them as a package is about $100 each, $100 complete, plus the transportation from Old Trafford to Carrington, like being on a bus and all of that. Then you also think about the fact that obviously the aim is, like, okay, let's say for example to visit Carrington is about £50, and then to visit Old Trafford is about £50. So that's £100 package that includes a bus tour as well. So it's like, it makes lots of sense, and they're trying to generate revenue, trying to generate funds. So they added Carrington to the mix to make more money. So you think about 100 people paying £100 to visit Carrington and Old Trafford, and how much money they're gonna make, and all of that. So it is what it is. Man United and clickbait are 5 and 6, especially when it comes to what the media puts out. In other transfer news which we brought to you last week, Ruben Amorim wants to strengthen Manchester United's midfield and is thinking about João Gomez for the January transfer window. This according to Record Portugal. Basically, they are in the know for stuff like stuff in Portugal, reports with Portugal or anything whatsoever. They have 404,000 followers on X. Ruben Amorim wants to strengthen the midfield. The Brazilian Wolves midfielder appears to be on the list of favorites as cheaper alternatives to Carlos Baleba, Brighton, and Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest, who seem to be out of financial reach at the end for Manchester United. With the possible relegation of Wolves, João Gomez does not close the door to or move to Manchester United, which they will also have to pay about £44 million for the Brazilian. £44 million is not bad. It's 24, I think. Yeah, it's 24. So £44 million is not bad at all. Now, there's this news that came out a couple of days ago. Oh, was it a couple of days ago? Yeah. Was it a couple of days ago? Just a quick one. The Netherlands beat Lithuania 4-0, and I think after, let's see, yep, after weeks and weeks and weeks of being ignored by Coleman, after weeks and weeks and weeks of being ignored by Coleman, Matthijs de Ligt gets to play, or got to play in this game. For the first time he started and he played the full 90 minutes. He had 2 shots in total, 6 defensive contributions, 92 touches, and touches in the opposition box was 3. So he played in the back 4-4-2 on the right to twerking Virgil van Dijk, and they won 4-0 with goals coming from Reinders, Tijani Reinders, Cody Gakpo, who scored a penalty, Javi Simons, who scored at the 60th minute, and you also have Melen. You have Doniel Melen, who scored the last goal at the 62nd minute. So basically, he played the full 90 minutes, and that's pretty good for him. Mickey van der Ven was on the bench. So Matthijs de Ligt, good warm-up, gets ready for the Everton game. It is what it is. Poland ended up beating Malta 3-2, so I think they've probably kind of secured, the second they go to the playoffs, qualification next stage. So they go to the playoffs. Now, where were we? Okay, we're trying to get, yeah, I saw this one with Man United taking on another venture, and we're gonna just break it down for you so you kind of get a sense of an idea of what this was all about. I told you that Šeško is out for a month. And then there's players that the players are going to AFCON. Now, this is another one. I think this will probably be the last news before we wrap it up. Manchester United set to enter a different sport with new team. Man United could soon be competing for on a different stage, or on different stages, basically. Man United could soon be competing on different stages, and that will be basically that Man United could soon be that will be, according to claims, that the club has agreed to front a new team in a proposed Europe-wide league. Manchester United have spent the past year reshaping almost every part of the club, from football structure under Sir Jim Ratcliffe to long-term plans for Old Trafford and investment in Carrington training facilities, with the club facing financial pressures leading to Ineos's extreme and often controversial cost-cutting and income-generating schemes. The club has seemingly looking at any opportunity to boost their revenue and limit their spending. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Barcelona both have, or they run elite basketball teams along with their football operations, using them to deepen local roots and extend global reach at the same time. Could you just imagine Manchester United basketball team? That's going to be Man United basketball team. That's going to be interesting to report on. I love basketball, so that would be interesting to report on, especially for the club of United size. The appeal of a similar model has been clear for some time. The opportunity appears to be arriving in the form of long-discussed NBA Europe project. The project will see a semi-open league backed by the NBA. That would place 10 to 12 permanent franchises in major European cities such as Manchester, London, Rome, and Paris, while requiring clubs to also compete in their domestic competitions. The ambition is to tap into basketball's growing popularity across the continent and bridge the commercial gap with the United States. Italian Basketball Federation President Gianni Petrucci has now claimed that Man United have already said yes to launching a basketball team to join the new competition. That's according to the rumors. Speaking to Corriere dello Sport, as reported by The Sun, he argued that the NBA-backed league is a perfect opportunity to expand the current competition pool. Commenting, and he said, in a 50 billion market, European basketball has commercial value of just 200 million. An NBA league is precisely the opportunity to increase the competitiveness and expand the pool. Petrucci also went on to name United directly, calling them the most popular football team in the world and using their supposed agreement as proof of the project's potential, adding that if Man United, the most popular football team in the world, has already said yes, there must be a reason. However, it was also explained that Old Trafford sources declined to comment when approached, underlining that this remains an external claim rather than a formally announced club venture. Reports around NBA Europe suggest that the league is being penciled in for launch around the start of 27-28 season, with Manchester stood to be among the leading candidates for the franchise, given the city's sporting infrastructure and strength of United's brand. As such, any United-backed team would be expected to slot into a new European structure and the existing British basketball pyramid. For United, this would not be entirely new territory, as the club previously owned a basketball side in the 1980s, playing at Stretford Sports Centre in front of crowds of around 1,500. Back then, the side faced European giants such as Barcelona and Real Madrid before the franchise eventually evolved into the Manchester Giants. As such, a return to the sport through an NBA Europe franchise would fit the wider push to modernize the globalize the club's operations under the current leadership, while growing supporters in Manchester. In Manchester, a fresh way to follow the badge. However, United, until there is an official statement from the Old Trafford hierarchy, the plans remain in the proposal stage. But Petrucci's comment hints that Manchester United could soon be competing for trophies on a very different sport. So I just thought to bring you that because I saw it while I was just kind of looking for genuine news to bring to you guys. It was pretty interesting to see that Manchester United could be venturing into a basketball and all of that. Yeah, it is what it is. Another one I saw basically that happened was which is kind of like where this whole video will come to an end, or this whole stream will come to an end, basically. Like I said, obviously I really I already said it to you earlier. In a move designed to boost revenue and engage supporters, Man United have officially launched an offer for fans to visit the new Carrington training complex for £100. The package includes a full Old Trafford tour and a coach transfer to Carrington, opening up the inner sanctum of the club to supporters. It is an interesting move that blends revenue generation with increased fan access. Now, the next one is another quick fire one. Thomas Frank's close call. And in the fun piece of history, then Brentford manager Thomas Frank revealed that he had interviews with both Manchester United and Chelsea on the same day last year, just 2 hours apart. Frank, who ultimately didn't get either job, reflected on the unique experience, stating, "Am I really experiencing this? It's a reminder of the managerial merry-go-round and how close some top candidates come securing those elite positions." And I heard the rumors last year that Man United were interviewing Thomas Frank, and to hear him say it now, confirming now, it's pretty interesting, but it is what it is. Now, to wrap this whole thing up, Manchester United is currently navigating a tough injury crisis in the forward line, especially with Šeško out injured, which means that the £65 million release clause for Antoine Semenyo has become an immediate, highly attractive option for January. But the long-term story is defined by the massive strategic ambition to cut £1 million per week from the wage bill to fund a €200 million dreams, like Vinícius Jr, which I told you that we debunked and it doesn't make sense, and to overhaul the midfield with Tchouaméni, which I think will be a cool, but then obviously it's all rumors, so you can make of it what you will. The club is in transition, but the plans are bold and ruthless. Now, the question is, what do you think about the priority of United's January signing of either Anderson, Antoine Semenyo, or even like any midfielder in January, or someone to cover the attack as well, or moving for João Gomez to strengthen the midfield immediately? For me, I think that João Gomez one will be a good steal. Just get the guy in January and move on. He will be a good understudy. He's Brazilian, will be a good understudy for Casemiro, and would also kind of give Ugarte a run, basically. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and all of that. So let me know your thoughts, and basically just let's have conversations. But thank you so much for those joining the live, and all of that. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and tomorrow we'll go again, trying to give you all the news that you can use. But unfortunately, today Šeško is going to be out for 4 weeks and definitely not going to play any game in December. It is what it is. Probably going to be back late December or early January. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.